Hey guys, this is Mr. Wickwar, and our final software we're going to learn here in this class is called SketchUp. I love using SketchUp at the very end because it's kind of a cross between graphic design and engineering. So if you're going into engineering or maybe computer science or maybe computer engineering or maybe graphic design, this kind of has everything. Okay, it puts it all into one thing. To start with, this young lady here that has no face for some reason is basically just to show you the basic scale that we're at. My guess is she's 5'8", 5'9", something like that. And so it kind of shows you the size things should be. We're going to try to keep everything to scale. When you first get into SketchUp, you will see some lines. These are the different axes. Okay, the red line is west to east, also known as the x-axis for those of y'all that are math geniuses. The blue line, of course, is the y-axis. It travels north and south. And then you have the horizon. This goes all the way back to the horizon. You can almost picture a little sun setting over here to show you depth. So it's really a 3D modeling software. To start with, I went ahead and opened it up, and I'm going to go ahead and title this. When you want to title a project, basically all you have to do is make a folder, and down here it asks you to make a name. So let's just call this one Practice. And basically our first project, you're going to create a minor city. So for me, I'm going to actually delete her because the first building you're going to make is to scale. To get in and out of Google SketchUp or SketchUp, you just scroll out. If you do your scroll, you'll notice I'm scrolling in and out. Okay, it allows you to move around. If you push in your scroll, it allows you to what is called orbit. Okay, doesn't look very impressive when you have nothing on there, but let's start with some of the tools. Over here on the toolbar, you have a magnifying glass, a selection tool. Right here we have the eraser. Right here you have the paint bucket, which does all kinds of things in this particular program. A pencil to draw straight lines or fences. We'll show that in a little bit. An arc, if you wanted to make an arced roof or an arced wall. This is our shape tool. It'll do rectangles. If you click on it, it'll do ellipses. It will do what they will call polygons. Here we even have 3D text. This is the push-pull tool. Here we have the outer shell tool. This is the move tool. Looks kind of like a throwing star. This is the measurement tool if you need to measure something. Here we have walk if you wanted to walk around and look around your building. And orbit, which again, I just told you the shortcut for the orbit is pushing in your scroll button. Let's start by just making a basic rectangle. And I'm going to come over here, and the first thing I want you all to do is make a 20 by 20 rectangle. How do you do that? Well, you sketch it out, SketchUp, and you look at the bottom right-hand corner and watch the dimensions climbing. Okay, I'm going to get as close as I can to about 20. Let's just leave it at about, I don't know, this is 16 by 15. Not exact, but let's just stop at that and let go. Now, as soon as I let go, I'm not going to do anything except I'm going to type in the actual dimensions I want. Watch the dimensions in the bottom right-hand corner change. I'm going to type in 2, 0, apostrophe. Apostrophe is shortcut for the letter for feet. Then I'm going to do the comma and a space. Then I'm going to go 2, 0, apostrophe. After that, I'm going to hit enter. Watch what happens to my square. Okay, and if I scroll out, I should have a 20 by 20 square. Okay, now I want that square to be 10 feet tall. So I'm going to go over to my push-pull tool, and I'm going to put my mouse over this. And you notice when my mouse goes over it, it has a bunch of little dots showing that it can be elevated. I'm going to drag it, hold on my mouse, and drag this straight up. Also, look at the distance in the bottom right-hand corner. When I get to about 10, which is about right there, I'm at 10 feet, 3 7/16 inches. By the way, notice at the end, the quote sign is inches. I let go, and that's not exactly what I want. So again, I'm going to type in 1, 0, apostrophe, enter. And notice the building jumped down a little bit. So now I should have a building that is exactly square and is 20 by 20 by 10. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a roof known as an A-frame roof. Okay. To do that, I'm going to kind of zoom in and get in front of the object that I'm trying to make the roof on. And I'm going to use this pencil tool. Now, what the pencil tool does, if you move across the front of this roof, it stops in the center point. And it tells you midpoint. I want that line to go straight up the blue axis. So if I'm on this one or that one, I'm in the wrong spot. Straight up blue. You could tell if the line is blue, it's going up the blue axis. Then I'll just let go. And now I'm just going to put my mouse right here on the end point and draw. It's kind of like connect the dots at this point. And notice that I have the beginning of an A-frame roof. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my selection tool. I'm going to click on that little line that you see right in the middle. If it turns blue, I can delete it. I'm going to scroll around the back of my building. I'm going to grab the push-pull tool again, and this time I'm just going to seal the roof. How cool is that? Now we have a plain white three-dimensional object that is to scale. It is 20 by 20. If that lady was here, she would fit perfectly in the little building. Okay? All we have to do now is add some texture. Okay, how do we do this? Well, before we do that, let's go ahead and add a couple of more objects. For example, we're going to add a door. Doors are usually 6 feet by 6 feet. So I'm going to find my midpoint. I'm going to scooch over just a little. And right here, I'm going to make a door, and I'm watching to the bottom right where my dimensions are. That is approximately 6 or 7 feet tall. Okay, what I like to do to my doors is I like to inset them just a little. So I'm going to inset this door just a little bit. And as you can see, we have ourselves a little door there. Next, let's put in a window or two. To put in a window, I'm going to make one nice long one right here. Just going to be a rectangle tool. And there we go. Again, I think I'll inset that just a bit. Okay, now we're kind of getting the looks of a building. We just need to add some texture. So I'm going to go get my paint bucket. And what we could do is just paint this a color. But check out what we have over here. If you go over here to the little materials button, which is the very top one, once you have this selected, or go ahead and click on your arrow tool there. Once you click on your materials, where's my material button? There it is. I'm sorry, it's a little square here. You can look for things that you want. You can, at the beginning, it's kind of closed out. But if you click on this, if you're at the home button, it looks like so. But if you click on the magnifying glass, you'll see all the different things you can add. Okay, let's start by adding something to the side. I'm going to click on bricks. And let's make this a brick siding. So I'm going to click on this brick wall. And look what the paint bucket does. It just quickly, and if I scroll around, allows me to paint this house. Okay? But if you go over to this side, we don't want this to be brick. We want it to be glass. So I'm just going to scroll down, click on glass. Let's choose this cool glass here. And we'll pretend like this is some office building, so we'll do the same thing to the glass there. And now all we need is a roof. So I'm going to scroll over here, click on roofing. Let's do this gray roofing right here. And all of a sudden, I have the first building in my little town. Okay? If you wanted to get real fancy, you could come in here and click on these little lines that you don't want. They're a little tacky looking. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of these. And that is your first object. If you finish this one today, make sure you include a window, a door, all the different roofing areas. What you can do after that is you can begin laying out your entire village. We'll talk a little bit more about that in class, though. This is a long enough tutorial to kind of get you started. I think you'll love this program. Give it a try.